the event of World Environment Day on June 5th. Galaxy Envitech Private Limited is organizing World Environment Day event in association with Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society APIS, Government of Andhra Pradesh, National Research Development Corporation NRDC, Government of India as technology partner, and Andhra University Incubation Center as knowledge partner. Now I invite Monisha to speak a few words about World Environment Day.
Good morning, everyone. So, on the occasion of World Environment Day, I would like to speak few lines. Our environment is one of the most important aspects to survive on this planet. Moreover, it is the only thing that make our life sustainable. Without it, we cannot survive even for a single day. For instance, our skin might burn up, our lungs might get ruptured, and even our blood pressure would rise. So, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5th of every year. Furthermore, the World Environment Day is run by the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP since the year 1973. Above all, the main purpose of celebrating this day was to spread awareness. The awareness was about the conservation of our environment. On the World Environment Day, we all take a day off from our work and join various campaigns to spread awareness about environment protection. Moreover, we all plant small samplings in the barren lands so that it may grow and flourish in the land area after some years. Also, we take part in various processions to make people aware of this day so that they may also take part in protecting our environment. So let us join our hands together and make this campaign a successful one. Thank you.
Hearty welcome to our special guest, Dr. Vijay Kumar Sahu, Regional Manager and Head, WIPO, TISC, NRDC, Government of India, onto the stage.
I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to welcome and felicitate the guest.
Hearty welcome to our special guest, Srimati Lavanya Chinmata, Joint Director, Administration and Infrastructure, APIS, onto the stage.
I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to welcome and felicitate the guest.
Hearty welcome to our special guest, Dr. Ravi Ishwarapu Garu, CEO, AU Incubation Hub, onto the stage.
I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to welcome and felicitate the guest.
Hearty welcome to our special guest, Professor M. Mutyal Naidu Garu, former Vice Chancellor of Adikavi Nannaya University, onto the stage.
I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to welcome and felicitate the guest.
I request Dr. D. Pundarika Rao Garu, Managing Director, Galaxy Envitech Private Limited, onto the stage.
I request to the Chief Guest to inaugurate the event by lighting the lamp. I request to the special guest for the release of poster on World Environment Day.
I request special guests to release the diary.
I request our special guest, Professor M. Mutyal Naidu Garu, former Vice Chancellor of Adikavi Nannaya University, to speak a few words on World Environment Day.
Dr. Pundrake Rao, my good friend, Mr. Ravi, Dr. Ravi Iswarapu, Vijay Kumar Sahu, Lavanya, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais. At the outset, I would like to wish all of you a happy World Environment Day. I would also like to thank Galaxy Envi Tech in general and my good friend Dr. Pundrake Rao in specific for organizing this program, which is the need of the hour, and also for inviting me to this wonderful occasion. Generally, we define environment as surroundings around us, or say the conditions in which we, the human beings, animals, plants, etc., work and live and work. It is the environment that provides the food that we eat, water we drink, the air that we breathe. We share all resources of the nature with all other entities, living creatures. Some of us have a belief that we are very, very central, very, very important entity of the universe. Personally, I don't know how far it is true, but I can say one thing. We, the human beings, only are parasites and dependent on all other entities of the universe. Because all other entities, they don't need our existence. They don't need our services. But we need them. We need their existence. We need their services. Without all other entities, there is no survival for us. We are in fact exploiting all other entities. I am reminded of a statement made by D.H. Lawrence, a great British English writer. He says, Man is the only mistake on the earth. I'll repeat it. Man is the only mistake on this earth. Without him, earth will be a better place. So this one statement speaks volumes. What he said is, so I think there is some truth in that statement. The reason is we are here to exploit all the resources. The reason is we are here to exploit. Welcome Ramakrishna Garu, please. Yeah, my former colleague. He was also former Vice Chancellor of Krishna University. We are here to exploit all other entities. In fact, we give nothing back to the nature, even after exploiting it in so many ways. In fact, we are the plunderers of the nature. Hope everyone agrees with me. It is the high time for all of us to realize the need and significance of all other entities. See, for all these things, there is only one root cause. Because I am a social scientist, so I don't go to technical details. But it is high time for us to be very careful in utilizing all the resources, very careful in preserving the existence of all other entities. But what we are doing now is just the opposite. Just the opposite. It is almost like cutting the very branch of a tree on which we are perching. అదే మనం చేస్తున్నాడు అంటే మనం కూర్చున్న కొమ్మనే మనం నరుక్కుంటుంటాం అన్నమాట. దట్ ఈస్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ వాట్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్. ఓన్లీ రూట్ కాజ్ ఫర్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. మనం ఎప్పుడు ఏంటంటే మూలాలు చూడం. దెర్ ఇస్ ఓన్లీ వన్ రూట్ కాజ్ ఫర్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ అండి. సి ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ వీ డోంట్ నీడ్ మచ్ రీజన్స్ ఫర్ దిస్. దట్ ఈస్ సెల్ఫిష్నెస్. We are self-centered, egocentric. We always, earlier I told you, we feel that we are very, very important, which is called anthropocentric, I think. Anthropocentric. We feel anthropocentric. Anthropocentricism. We feel anthropocentric. What we say is we are very, very crucial. That might be true. But only thing is, as I mentioned earlier, they don't need our survival, but we need their survival. See, the root cause for all these things is, for this present state of condition of environment is only one thing, and that is selfishness. There is a verse in our holy text, Bhudevi, that is goddess Earth, says, Nabharam sapta sagaraha, na kinchit parvata bharam, swamidroham idam bharam, bharam viswasa ghatukaha. అంటే భూదేవి, దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఫీలింగ్స్ ఆఫ్ ద భూదేవి. ఏం చెప్తుందంటే, పర్వతాలు నాకు భారం కాదు, నా కించిత్ పర్వత భారం, నా భారం సప్తసాగరగా, ఈ సముద్రాలు ఇవన్నీ కూడా భారం కాదు, స్వామిద్రోహం కొంచెం భారంగా ఉంటుంది, భారం విశ్వాసఘాతుక, విశ్వాసఘాతుకుడు ఉన్నాడే అదే అసలైన భారం అని చెప్తుంటుంది. వై ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్ దిస్ ఈజ్, దట్ ఈస్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ వాట్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ నౌ, particularly that is our attitude towards the nature. మీకు సత్యమేవ జైతే, దట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈజ్ నో లాంగర్ వ్యాలిడ్ అండి. నౌ వ్యాలిడ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఈజ్ స్వార్థమేవ జైతే. ఎంత సెల్ఫిష్గా ఉందంటే, మనం ఆ స్వార్థం కోసం వీ గో టు ఎనీ ఎక్స్టెంట్ అండి. వాళ్ళు ఎవరనేది అనవసరం మనకి. ఆ ఇంగ్లీష్లో గ్రామర్లో జనరలీ దే టీచర్స్, when we are taught English grammar, what they say is first person singular plural, second person singular plural, like this. First person singular is I, first person plural is we. So first importance, first preference is only ours, that means I. every time what we want is only I only. We give lot of preference to that. Once we are satisfied with everything, then we go for the second one. That is we. That is family and everything. So unless we put a full stop to this, we cannot expect any betterment in future. See, what shall we do now? Because there are so many speakers. Here, the only one solution is, first important thing is, this is my opinion. We have to put a full stop this concrete forest. Generally, people call it concrete jungle. Buildings, all these things. So in that place, we have to grow natural forest. I think some of you might have been witnessing, I think on Netflix or something, Barack Obama narrates to promote a mission, save the nature, you will be saved. So that exactly what we have to do, we have to promote this type of campaigns. And no longer we have to say, Sarve Jana Sukhno Bhavantu. We have to say, Sarve Jiva Sukhno Bhavantu. And finally, you take it as caution or anyway, a small word of caution. See, earth is not only a preserver of life, it can also be a worst destroyer also. So we have to remember that, and we have to be very careful. And all environmentalists like our Professor Ramakrishna Garu, Dr. Pondarekara Garu, you have a lot of things to do, and you have to bring awareness among the public. And interestingly, see, I think probably this was announced by United Nations Council in 1972 or something. I think exactly 50 years ago. But much before, I think in 1920s, Gandhi actually gave a thought to this, and that was developed by Kumaraswamy Appa something. One Britisher, I think, 3 Britishers. They actually brought this concept into the light. So anyhow, I am very, very thankful, all of you, for having given me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. Now, I request our special guest, Dr. Bijay Kumar Sahu Garu, Regional Manager and Head, WIPO, TISC, NRDC, Government of India, to speak on World Environment Day.
Dignitaries on the dais, in front of the dais, it is a great honor for us to represent an ecosystem where we can make the difference. It is a time for all of us to realize the role of Mother Nature. At the end of the day, we have seen in this pandemic, we lost many of our known faces. We have realized, but we need to create such momentum. We need to create such kind of ecosystem to mitigate the challenge, to achieve the sustainable development goal. And that's some of the initiative we have been carrying forward. In this regard, I will certainly congratulate Galaxy Envi Tech for organizing such kind of sensitizing program. And today is the great day. Honorable Prime Minister of India is also giving his address. And at that moment, I was just going through, we must have to realize and how we can mitigate the challenge individually at each level. Friends, what we do, how we are connecting the dot that I wanted to present before you. You are aware that Visakhapatnam is one of the beautiful city of the country, the destiny, or we normally call it the city of destiny. Some of the very good startup, those who are making the difference towards only one earth, is how we are recycling this plastic waste. And some of the startup are doing their best, and today we are proudly say that this leader can make the difference to the society and also mitigate the challenge of the nation. We have the biggest problem. We are based out in a coastal city. There is many challenges, particularly on oil spill at our marine ecosystem. Today, some of the startups are also mitigating the challenge of this oil spill through bioremediation technology. So how we are connecting the dot as an institution and standing before you is need to make such kind of credential opportunity we need to create for our MSME startup and industry, and that is the need of the hour. I am grateful that the government of AP has given us an opportunity to mitigate the challenge, connecting the dot and giving many more environmental sound technology to the society, because technology plays a very important role. We have seen during the COVID how tracing, testing and treating of COVID-19, the Visakhapatnam has played a very important role nationally and globally. This place given every day 11 lakhs RT-PCR tests to the nation. We must have to realize we need to create the momentum and we must have to join hand, because everyone are special. We need to complement and supplement. That's the vision and that's the dream of Mahatma Gandhi, homegrown ideas, innovation, and to mitigate the challenge of the environment, what we are facing in day-to-day life. I'm grateful that you have given me a platform. We are based out at Visakhapatnam. Our role is to provide appropriate technology to MSME, startup and industry in the country. And any kind of support for technology, innovation, seed funding, equity, market, regulatory, as an organization of national eminence, we are there to provide you and connect the dot. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. God bless you all. Jai Hind, Bande Mataram.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring us with your valuable words. Now, I request our special guest, Dr. Ravi Ishwarappa Garu, CEO, AU Incubation Hub, to speak a few words on World Environment Day.
Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, friends, World Environment Day. I think one of the most important stuff. Good that we are celebrating it, just like we have our Father's, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, but I think out of these, this is the most important one. It relates to our survival. Just now, I think Mr. Mutyal Naidu Garu was leaving, but he's talked about the human nature and how we feel about our linking ourselves toward the mother nature. I would say, yes, very self-centered society that we are in. We talk, but we don't do. It's very evident. We all talk about health. I'll just relate it to what we are trying to do in environment today. If health was so important to all of us, there would have been tons of people not in the evening sitting and eating all the junk food on the beach road, but on the morning doing a beach walk. So health is important to us in our talk, not in what we do. There would have not been so much of alcohol, cigarette, what all, lot of consumption. There would have not been so much of fast food on the roads if we are really health conscious. There's something that I learned in my management as part of my management lessons and also running corporates. When we do our marketing strategy, we have two things in mind. One is your expressed need versus latent need. What you say and what you do is different in most of the cases. This is the same thing that's happening with the environment today. We all talk big, we all dream big, but we don't do much. We talk of plastic, and everywhere it's around us, the bottles on the table, we very much use it. So we cannot live without it. And we conveniently see, and human nature is such that until it comes to your doorstep, it starts knocking on you, and then that's like health becomes very important once you cross 50, 60. Then you realize, and then you do the morning walks, then that's when it starts knocking on the door and say, boss, you better do it or you're gone. And then you cut down on your alcohol, you cut down on your sugar intake, all that stuff starts after 60, but not when you are this thing. It's the same thing that's happening with nature and Mother Earth. You take it to an extent where your survival itself becomes critical, and then policy, compliance, other things come into play and say, if you don't do this, then there are fines, it's like discipline. Just like if you park here, there's a fine. Sort of a situation that we get ourselves into. It's so true. But okay, let's talk from the business perspective. Okay, we all love money. So let's talk from the business perspective. Take it just, there's out of two things that people will start getting into becoming more eco-friendly. One is the fear or need for it. Two is there's something which is a business need out of it. Like today you might start going into EVs, electric vehicles, because it's financially viable. People would not spend tons of money, or you go to solar energy because financial viability becomes a business, need. I can tell you of my own examples, but what's happened is, overall I know at a UN level, when you're talking about countries, carbon neutrality, all these things, sustainability, asking companies to report about your carbon footprint, these have become the norms of the day now. And now you have a lot of startups which are now thriving in that. I know I have my friend here, Prasad GCRS, who is on the sustainability stuff. So green, environment, all these things have become again mandated. Again, I'm saying from the corporate side also, mandated compliance perspective, you have to report it. Your commitment to environment sustainability has become a norm now. So of course, I said that's our human nature. Until somebody forces it upon you, you don't do it. So we think, but when it comes to doing it, it is this. It's been forced upon us. I think it has to be forced upon people. I think the people who realize, like, I'll give you my own examples. When I reverse migrated, moved into Vizag, started, it was then Satyam, now Tech Mahindra. I was the first employee. I started that center, had the first building, then built the second one, grew it before I became an entrepreneur. So my experience when I first came in, when I had to get my first client into Vizag, it was GE, General Electric. They have a huge checklist of things that I have to comply before they say okay, and they will go to a new destination. And part of it was environmental compliance. They wanted, thankfully Hudud happened after that, but they wanted last 30 Earth weather and any natural disaster data. If it happened, and I'll tell you the Hudud impact on Vizag too, because I also was the president of the IT Association of Andhra Pradesh at that point of time. So we were, at that time, so as part of that, we have a tons of checklist as with respect to what we call it as, all these companies, major companies do what we call it as disaster recovery and business continuity planning. If something goes wrong in a place, you have to ensure that there's business continuity. It is like, let's say if there is a Hudud in Vizag and you're supporting some big banking systems, let's say for Bank of America. Can't say internet is not working, power not there in Vizag, so I can, all the ATMs across India or probably Asia of Bank of America are all down and you have to wait till power comes back. Customers are not forgiving because, again, human nature. We want everything, we impatient. So we will move to another, because of a bad experience with Bank of America, I'll move to Citibank or some Stanchart and all that stuff. So the clients, when they come in and then they ask, okay, GE money, so you're supporting everything that is in Europe, what's your business continuity, disaster recovery? Our nearest center is Bhubaneswar. We say we'll put people in cars and other stuff. We will move them to immediately overnight. We do all these drills also. Sudden, if Vizag's internet is down, even we do country outage. If country is out, we have tie-up with, we have 125 people who support these systems, have passports ready to go to and work out of a data center in Singapore. We have a tie-up with Singapore Airlines. So like for example, if we had at one point of time only one line that's underwater internet, and if it's gone, you're gone. So when we could, after giving a very positive report about Vizag's environment, because we think environment is just something that impacts individuals, but now I'm talking about money perspective, development of Vizag as such. So thankfully, GE agreed. They came in, next came Nissan and other clients into Vizag, and it was going fine. Then suddenly one day, Hudud happened. And that had a big impact, and we had lined up a lot of companies to come and talk and then get them to convince about Vizag to be them to come in and then set up their centers in Vizag and start operations in Vizag. Okay, while it was a bad impact, it was something that had a negative impact on the growth of a little bit of on the IT sector, because if you see, Vizag has grown pretty well on the KPO BPO side, which is we call as the BPO or ITES support, IT enabled services. But on the IT side, still in a nascent stage, we have not grown to a potential that we have. Hudud was one impact that we had, and that really, at that point of time, we had clients, and I had one of my clients here in Fortune and not Fortune, Four Seasons. So they were 4 Points, Sheraton, and they were in the basement, and after that, but there was something that good happened. That's the good part of us also, as we as nature, as humans and Indians. He was comparing, because he was from the US. At that time, I moved out to Satyam. I was an entrepreneur. I was working with this healthcare company, and they were in Vizag, and Hudud hit us. Next day morning, this man was sitting behind me on my two-wheeler, and we were moving around in Vizag. And he was surprised about the amount of, camaraderie and cohesiveness people had. Students coming, young people coming onto the roads, clearing the roads, government machinery to common citizens, and everybody working towards a common goal of getting back to normalcy as quickly as possible. That surprised him. A person who had probably in the night when everything was going bad thought, okay, this is not the place, probably I'll have to, because I convinced him in moving from Hyderabad to Vizag. Now saying, now should I go back to Hyderabad was his thought. But the next 2 days, the way in which we worked and brought things back to normalcy and had business continuity operational within 2 days, that changed his thought. So he was comparing it with Katrina that happened in the US, and how they just left the city or the town and then moved on, and still today it's non-operational. So he said, in the US, this is not going to happen. This is a nature that Indians have. I think you have a lot of resilience and you come back. I think that is, unfortunately, yes, I'm sure we will get over the issue of environment somehow or the other. But that's only until we are neck deep or probably drowning. That's the unfortunate. We don't plan ahead. Like, for example, whatever is we are trying to do now, like, for example, the huge work that's going on under the ground, electrical lines all going underground. It should have happened before a Hudud. It's not after we learnt a lesson, we get slapped hard and then we start off. But thankfully now we have startups that are coming and then talking about all the vulnerabilities, risks that are there, and which have an impact on this thing. So I represent the incubation of the startup ecosystem. I have, like GCRS, I have another RV Tech, then Agri DNA, which is also into F2F, farm to food plate sort of blockchain stuff. And there are a lot of startups which are into environment, food and sustainability and long-term ensuring that we as people sustain to live in good conditions. Yes, just like my friend Dr. Sahu was talking about, anything related to, he's the patent guru of Vizag. So together we work as an ecosystem. We have Lavanya Madam out here, So we are there to help out because there's a huge, it's going to be a multi-billion dollar this thing. I know Prasad or even Mr. Pandri Rao, Dr. Pandri Rao, they are in this, I know, because one is, it has a social impact. Two is a huge opportunity that's coming in. I've just met one of President of Ingersoll Rand. He came and did an MOU with AUs, and he was saying this is going to be a multi-billion dollar opportunity going forward. I know you've seen Tesla grow, so you don't need examples for that. So and a lot of people will come in and find solutions as to how we sustain. And this is all going to be a big business. I know we are buying our water now and whatnot. We will be continuing. And no, COVID has taught us how much we have to spend to buy oxygen. So we will soon have it becoming more and more. I know we are pushing ourselves to buy even our basic necessities, and this is going to be the norm. Water is now started getting traded. So this is going to be the norm. So people with ideas to do something as social entrepreneurs are more than welcome. We would love to support that. Young people, there's ignition funds that are available, which we can be also promoted for the startups to take things. Congratulations, sir. A great initiative. Wishing Galaxy Envi Tech a great future, and thanks for taking all the pain in arranging such this thing. This is slightly disheartening to see not many people interested. I said, right, until fear pushes you, people don't come in. So this is something that we have to continue to create that culture. Thank you, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful words. Now I request our special guest, Srimati Lavanya Chinmata Garu, Joint Director, Administration and Infrastructure, APIS, to speak on World Environment Day.
Good morning, everyone. Dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. My name is Lavanya. I take care of AP Innovation Society. We usually deal with all the startups, and we are the nodal agency for AP startups and everything. So, as all the guests were mentioning about Environment Day, I just wanted to talk only few things about this environment and all. The major concept of this Environment Day has come up 50 years back, I think. It's almost 1973, which was majorly concentrating on marine pollution, sustainable wildlife, and all these kind of things. But in these 50 years, what was that all the nations have been doing is a question mark every time for me. Because whenever this kind of slogans or whenever this kind of programs come in, people come in and say that we are going to save the earth and all. But I think people have started going into the ancestral stage where our ancestors used to be majorly concentrating on the plant-based environments and all. Now again, the companies have come up stating that go on plant-based food and all. And when we take recent COVID into consideration, major COVID cases were because of D vitamin deficiency. Nobody is ready to sit under the sun and get the D vitamin. Everybody want to take the 8 weeks D vitamin course, and there ends the matter, that's it. I think I am one in them. I have also been a verdict of COVID, and I don't have patience to sit under the sun. Rather than 2 minutes, I take a tablet and that's gone. Again, the second day I go to the doctor and say, doctor says that you have toxins inside the body. Again, for removing the toxins, again I have to get some other medicine. So the people are more habituated of getting medicines rather going into the plant-based foods and all, which have been readily available for us. They go for solar energies and all. They get all the artificial kind of systems have been more inculcated in the regular daily life hours. Because when we talk about not taking plastic, first of all, I talk hours together stating that I don't take plastic. End of the day, they come to me, give a plastic bottle water, I consume that and I say, no, I'm not taking plastic. And earlier days, we used to take all the cloth bags and all. Nowadays, again, the companies come and say that, oh, this is pollution free, and you take the cloth bags and start going. I mean, are we going beyond before 50 years, or are we really advanced is always a question mark for me. So what exactly are we doing is again always been a question mark. And the other thing, COVID on the other way has given us a lesson that the environment has to be really, it has to be safeguarded. But what did COVID give us? All the bio waste and all what are the wastes which have been used for COVID are one kind of pollution for us. Maybe the air pollution was not there, the vehicle pollution was not there, but the waste pollution was more during the COVID time, which was again a hazard. So, taking all this into consideration, I would only want to say one thing: save soil, save the environment is the only way we can save the environment. Thank you very much, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your valuable words. I request Dr. D. Pundarika Rao Garu, Managing Director, Galaxy Envitech Private Limited, to speak a few words on World Environment Day.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you, the NRDC, who is with us as a technology partner for this program. And I would like to convey my regards to APIS also, who is with us for making this program successful. And I would like to thank you, sir, who is AU Incubation Hub CEO, Ravappa Garu, who is making us continuous support for us to making this program successfully. And my special guest, Professor Jagadish Rao sir, thank you so much, who is the IIIT Director, for coming here and attending this program. And Professor T.Y. Naidu Garu, thank you sir for coming here, for your presence makes this program differently. And Professor S.R.K. Raj Garu, thank you sir for coming here. And our national environmental expert, Dr. A.J. Rao, is also here. Thank you sir for coming. And my dear friends and the family members and the special guests from the different industries like mining, pollution control board. Today we are here for the purpose of World Environmental Day. That is on June 5th. साहू जी बीच में मैं तेलुगु बात करता हूँ, excuse कर लीजिए for convenience. Yes, so thank you so much for that granting. So the reason we are meeting here is we want to celebrate the World Environmental Day with taking as own responsibilities. We want to create the awareness program. We all are know that manandarki telusu, manam well educated, well knowledge, well people in this society, but still we need to have the more responses from our side as an individual to protect this environment, to save this environment, to save this our complete earth. And even this year also, the United Nations make a theme like only one earth, because earth has everything. They have nature has given for us everything, but we need to keep them. మనం చెప్తాం సార్, మా అమ్మాయి ఏమో ఇండియన్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్లో సీట్ వచ్చింది, చదువుకుంటుంది చక్క. మా అబ్బాయి ఏమో ఇండియన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్లో చదువుతున్నాం ఇండియాలో అయితే. సో వీ విల్ సే మై సన్ ఈజ్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద Harvard University. My daughter is there in the Stanford University. At the same time, some of my friends says, hey, I have 1,000 crores for my son, I have saved it. And other guy says, I have kept 100 crores for my daughter marriage. At the same time, my request, let us save the environment also and give it to our children's and grandchildren's. So they also need to have a life. They also need to make comfortable life like us. Even better. That's what, as a parent, as a person, as a citizen of any of the country, we need to do that as a responsibility on the environmental perspective. So that is my request to everyone who is attending here and who is watching this program and who are there in the parts of the world. Let us save these natural resources, use it, whatever is required, as a minimal way and in a legal way. Then let us hand over it to the next generation so they will have a peaceful and happy life. So once again, thank you so much for everyone coming here and making this program successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I cordially invite our special guest, Professor Jagadish Garu, Director, IIIT, Srikakulam, to speak on World Environment Day.
Respected guests on the dais, my teachers of the dais, my colleague, former colleague, Professor Sankari Ramakrishna Ragaru, a great eminent environmentalist. And I know a few here. Some of them are my own students. And I'm happy and delighted to listen from my own student, Pundarik Rao. Then coming to this Environmental Day is concerned, the this year caption is only one Earth. Probably we may have too many Earths in the solar system and then other space, but we don't know that whether we have a habitable Earths are there or not. If at all it is there, it is not possible at this particular point of time to reach to such type of Earths and live ourselves happily. And then coming to this, why this? Only the one Earth, only one Earth. We are happily living until this COVID spread in the year 1999. We didn't know, we were not faced any harsh conditions. Then only we experienced the life would be in this particular situation. We were not thought of even. Everybody was held up in their homes, no transportation, no food, nothing. It's really unimaginable kind of situation was happened. Why this kind of pandemics or epidemics are recurringly occurring all over the world? It is probably because of human impact in the environment or ecosystem is leading to some sort of unsustainability. In earlier days, people used to get food locally available ecosystem or environment, but that days have gone. We disturbed the entire locally available ecosystem beyond repairable level. Therefore, we are in search of food to different areas in different ecosystem otherwise. This is what exactly the case it is. And if you see this, when India got independence, probably our population would be around 35 crores. And then we have a 44% or 45%, Ramakrishna Rao can tell exact number. Our area was under forest, but now it has come down to 21-22%. And then ironically, you can also compare these two things. Population was raised to 135 crores, but it is 35 crores if I am right. When India got independence, 35 crores. Then what is happening this with regard to agriculture or forest is concerned? We are encroaching into the forest and vegetated areas for different type of economic activities, which includes human constructions also, individual houses also, construction of individual houses also. So over a period of time, what is happening is we are depleting or deforestating the vegetation, which are very, very important for the human survival on this planet Earth. We often refer it, it's the lungs of the human life. When there is no lungs, we are purchasing oxygen, but from the recent COVID situation is given a big lesson for all of us. We purchased oxygen. And I thought when we have a sufficient area under forest or vegetation, probably this situation would not happen. But still, this was the situation. And then coming to other aspects are concerned, because when we talk about environment, you can start so many things, not that only one parameter as a matter of fact. For example, India was already notified water scarce country by the year 2025. It is very simple. As I mentioned already right now, we have a population, 135 crore population in 2.4 land area, probably highly densely populated country in the world. There is no second thought in that. Then, how can we provide water? How can we provide food? How can we provide other basic requirements to such a huge number of human population? And then, it is very simple. Whatever amount of water that is available, and then you can divide it by the human population. Then the per capita availability, you will get it. Now, 1700 cubic meters per head per annum. UNO has given the threshold, 1700 cubic meter per head per annum. Now the thing is, we are almost touching the 1700 cubic meter per head per annum. And by the year 2025, probably the threshold will cross. So automatically, we will face music in getting our due share of water. In several cities of our country, already this grim situation was already prevailed, and people are finding some alternatives, but till the date, we didn't arrive a good alternative system which can replace water. So there is a saying, of course, there are a lot of alternatives are there for energy and other things, but there is no alternative for the water. So how scientists should think about that? How we can preserve water, how we can protect water, and see that the same water can be passed to the next coming generation, future generations. That is what exactly the sustainability talks about. When we pollute water, and then automatically, when you talk about water requirement and all, it's really a typical kind of thinking mind system in our own country I have seen. I visited long back America. There I used a mobile toilet. First time in my life I used mobile toilet. It is adjacent to the biggest freshwater lake in the world. First time I used the mobile toilet. Now mobile toilets are also erecting in major functions in Visakhapatnam also. I was observing that. It's fine. But people are not aware how to use that. That's the second thing it is. And then we are putting a lot of waste into the surface water bodies. For example, we can proudly feel that highly polluted lake in the water, Hussain Sagar. Scientists were already given. There are so many heavy metals were there in the particular lake. Don't immerse idols, Ganesh idols and all. But still that's going on. So my impression is, when something was clearly indicating, people should follow that. But that system was not there in our country. My previous speakers was clearly mentioned. Man is unfortunately created in this society, earth environment otherwise. If he would not be created, probably environment may be in a better shape. We are killing our fellow animals, we are depleting vegetation, we are polluting water, we are polluting soil, even polluting ourselves also. This is what exactly the case is. Then there may be 100 issues. We also find it out some sort of solutions. There may be solution also. But solutions also, as far as environment is concerned, it's not viable solutions as far as my understanding is concerned. You are talking about startups and all. Fine, it's good. But startups, will it really survive? Because when we handle the solid waste management, for example, it's one of the problematic situation in our country. We are generating 4.5 kg per head per day. But Western countries, they are generating more amount of solid waste there, but their cleanliness is very good. You won't find any litter, even chocolate wrappers also, even in the railway station, even in any other areas. But you can see all educated people, they spoil the surroundings and environments. That is what exactly the case it is. So this is how it is now. Good habits. It means for every birthday of our children, it was not happened in my case. What we are doing? We are buying a cake, asking them to cut, and we were celebrating it. Instead, certain countries, Brazil and other countries probably, they are started implementing this. Better you plant a sapling somewhere and then nurture it. And then see, it is growing over a period of time. It gives immense happy and pleasure. Then you can protect in turn. But that sort of things are not encroaching into the society. This is another mistake as far as my understanding is concerned. Similarly, we waste water. You see, in a municipal corporation, water tanks and all, నీటిని వృధా చేయరాదు. There is a lot of seepage of water is there. If you go to their website, GVMC website, there is a 25% wastage of water is there. They specifically mentioned in their website. Can't we stop it? This is another important thing. When I visited Japan, then I requested the hotel fellows, why you are not providing any water bottle? Then they told me, no, you drink water in the room itself. No, there is no tap at all. From where I can drink water? Better you drink water from the toilet or bathroom. It is a really typical kind of situation. I was not able to understand and digest it. Why we can drink water from the toilet and all? See, toilets are something different. We always treat it in this that way. But generally, they advised. Then I had a talk to some of my Japanese professors. She told me that, Rao, this was the best water than the bottled water. Better you drink. Then I drank water only. So then the question is here, our Indian people mindset. They say something, do something. As long as this prevails, it is you start startups, 100 startups. Nothing will work out. Nothing will work out. I am sorry to tell you. But some positive kind of attitude is required. But at the same time, you bring all this kind of problems to the society, into the rural area, then create some sort of awareness in the rural people. Then only our India can become something like environment friendly. Otherwise, no. Thank you very much, Pundarik Rao, particularly for inviting me to here and sharing my views and thoughts with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. I cordially invite our special guest, Professor T.Y. Naidu Garu, Department of Geology, Andhra University, to speak a few words on World Environment Day.
Dr. Pundareka Rao, who is responsible, come forward to organize in connection with the Galaxy Environmental Tech in relation to the World Environment Day in particular. And Dr. Sahu, Dr. Aishwarappaji, Dr. Kalyanji, and Professor Jagadish, Professor Ramakrishna Rao Garu, and all the guests present over here in relation to the World Environment Day. I congratulate Envi Tech in particular to organize this awareness program towards the sustainability of the environment. So far, the earlier speaker nicely narrated about the different aspects in relation to the sustainability of the environment. Yes, it is true that it is very much appropriate to speak the word only one earth. Only one earth means the planet Earth, whatever the human being, not only the human beings, whatever the life as a whole, living on the earth as a whole, related to the different countries. Because once the environment is healthy, safe, sustainable, then only the people, or not only the people, whatever the living, can be happily, peacefully living and continue their life further and further in future generations. Once the environment is disturbed, it is very difficult. Everybody knows that. It is very difficult. Because once you, yes, first I would like to say in two divisions. One is the pollution. Environment is nothing but surroundings. When you are speaking about the ecosystem, because when we are dealing with the environment, definitely it comes, the word comes, the ecosystem, ecology. Ecology is nothing but the relationship between organisms and their surroundings. Within the organisms, we are very much important life, the people. So once, if the environment is degrading, if it is toxic, it is no more favorable for living, for further, then immediately there is a danger for our survival. So that it is very much important to create awareness among the public. Unless otherwise, each individual takes responsibility, sincerely think about all these aspects, how best we can continue the survival, the healthy environment, the sustainability of the environments. Yes, one side, we need the development. Without development, how we can survive? We need the urbanization, we need the economy, and all these things. Once we are looking about this, other side also have to think about the sustainability of the environment without affecting much. In relation to one, you are speaking about all these resources, the earth resources. Once you are speaking about the earth resources, first comes about the mining and all these activities, geological resources. So without that also, we may not expect the economy, the growth, and even if you see the building, this is a product of earth material. So like that, not only this, if you want to run the vehicle, we need the fuel resources. Because once you are relating again if you speak about, because I will come another way. It is not only always speaking, of course, linked with the environment, the pollution. One aspect is the pollution. Again, if you are speaking about the pollution, land pollution and the ocean. If you are again relating the earth as a whole, earth means not only the land part. Most of the people doesn't know much about the 3/4 of the earth system covers with the ocean system. That is a major system that controls whatever the environmental changes, whatever the atmospheric changes, whatever the climatic changes are occurring on the earth, the present or the past. As a geologist, I don't want to go much because once any professor starts to speak, it is difficult to control. One speak in different ways we can, but it is very difficult to confine. That is the problem. But anyway, because it is must. Planet Earth is not confined to the land part. Land part is very much, even less than 1/3. Most part of the ocean system. Because whatever the changes are happening in between the land and water interaction, that is why every day the weather is also, not only climate is relates to the longer time, whereas weather is every day changes. All these happening due to the interaction between ocean system and the earth system. That is more important. Okay, anyway, again environmental pollution. Once comes to the environmental pollution, there are several aspects. Marine pollution, land pollution, within that industrial pollution, urbanization, aquaculture, forest, whatnot, agriculture. Several parameters will come under the pollution aspects. But all pollution, we can speak pollution without deteriorating the environment by taking the different measures, the technology, whatever the advancing technology helps us, yes, because all these pollution may not lead to the global warming, but they deteriorate the environment, no doubt about it. So global warming, because one aspect is very important, the World Environment Day, where IPCC we can speak about, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, UN 1972 to even today, up to today, even this year they are conducting at Sweden. So global warming, that is more important. The rising of temperatures, that is more important. What makes the rising of temperatures? The rising of temperatures are the global warming, not only, of course, the present day context is anthropogenic activity. Through anthropogenic activities, human activities, how much they are contributing for the deterioration of this. As a result, how much temperature, the rate of temperature that is pre-industrial age, that is in general before 1700s, and after post-industrial, that is after 1700s onwards. Yes, it is true. The world scientists, especially working on climate change, based on their data input, they are able to say that. Again, I want to say that whatever the climate is not only due to anthropogenic, because we know that after the evolution of the life on the earth, we are at very, very top. We know, as a geologist, I would like to say that word, the age of the earth is 4.5 billion years. I don't want to say the details, how they are able to say, if I am going to say that is a 1 hour lecture. So we know that 4.5 billion means 4,500 million years. But when man comes, just 2 million or 3 million, when the advanced man, recent man comes, 10,000, if you say Rama, age of Rama, modern man, our representative. Even if you say, just now I used the word pre-industrial and post-industrial, that is after 1700 onwards. If you see the rate of growth of the industrial development, what makes the anthropogenic impact causing for these warming. In addition to the natural changes, several times climate was changed. Even we are on the very edge of the Bay of Bengal along the east coast of India. If you go back to the not far, in the geological words, millions of years always you use. But if you speak about the 18,000 years back that we are calling as last glacial maxima, we know that glacial and interglacial. This is important. These are the important scientific aspects. We can say, yes, it is important, plastic, ban the plastic, that is also important, but it is not that much scientific, only the willpower. If everybody feels that, yes, we use it to ban the plastic, it is not much difficult. But if you know the science behind it, that is more important. If you want to be an intelligent partner of the World Climate Organization, that is more important. But anyway, if you complete it, it's not a big problem. Starting with banning of plastic, everybody, starting today onwards, seriously. Okay, definitely, if you create awareness among the public, at least some result, some positive result, we can get it through several organizations, voluntary or educational institutes or governmental organizations. Yes, today, as our friend said that today, Prime Minister of India, there is a video program. Most probably by this time he might have given his message, very important message. Yes, all these, only, these are very simple, only the sincerity, not much science involved, to ban all these. Like that, fuel resources, like coal, burning of coal. Now I am linking with the global warming, because all over the world, scientists are thinking about how to reduce the global warming. If a 1.5 degrees centigrade is increasing when compared to the today's temperature, that is around 33, 35 world average, that gives a lot of harm for the survival of the life. So the scientists realized that from the last 100 years or 50 years, the temperature rise is sharp rising when compared to the earlier time, and so that they know that, scientists know that, may not be, maximum public may not be known, they know that natural induced is there besides the anthropogenic impact. Natural, that is more important, that is due to the Earth's orbit's rotation and also the sun's radiation, tilting of the axis. Several parameters are acting that causes major change in the Earth system. That is why, whether how many people knows it or not, 5 or 6 major life extinctions were taken place after the evolution of the life on the Earth planet. Major, like dinosaurs. What makes? At that time, no man, no industry, nothing else. What makes? That is due to the mostly volcanic eruptions and asteroid impact. I don't want to speak much. If time permits, I can speak 1 hour each and every aspect. But I don't want. Why I'm saying is, because whatever changes are taking place, not only due to human beings, anthropogenic impacts are there, but at the same time, other side, natural impacts are also there, which are not known for many of the public. If we are neglecting, why we are stressing on this? Because man-made, we ourselves, మనకి మనమే చేసుకుంటున్నాం కాబట్టి మనం చేయగలిగింది చేస్తే at least that we don't know, and at the same time we may not be able to stop the nature. Only you can understand, shall we able to stop the earthquakes? Shall we able to stop the tsunami? Shall we are able to stop floods? Shall we able to stop volcanoes or anything? Because these are all natural hazards. It's not in our hands. At least the scientists all over the world are trying to understand what was happening in the past, what is happening in the present, and by taking this present and past process, and the scientists are working on those lines to predict the future changes. But this is in our hands, whether to eradicate, stop the usage of plastic, whether you reduce the emissions, whatever the fossil fuels are all, whatever the not healthier for the environment, we can stop. At least we can regulate, we can reduce as a result for sustainability, for continuity of the healthy environment that we are using as sustainable environment. And at the same time, whatever the resources in the mining process, whether it is a fuel resources or non-fuel resources or even in the form of aquaculture, yes, during this process, especially coal is very harmful, but at the same time we need the energy, heat energy, thermal energy. Without that, how? Even if you see the European or Western countries, they are depending mostly on the energy when compared to our. In the recent past, in my opinion also from the last 30 years or 20 years, in India, people have that economic affordability so that the vehicle or something, even the domestic, the ACs or whatever it may be, most of the people are able to use this. If you go back 30 years back, India, the energy consumption rate is not that much. But by that time, the Western countries are already developed. They are using not only for their vehicle or even for the domestic, they need the heat also because they are all cold countries. As a result, they want more and more electricity. So as a result, the burning of coal mostly later. The petroleum products have come later. The coal has already there. Coal is harmful when compared to this, but we need energy. Without energy, nowadays, it is very difficult to sustain or whatever the economic growth or employment, whatever, or even day-to-day life, even starting the energy use from every boy, from even our granddaughter, 1 month, she used to, that is the lifestyle nowadays. So how much energy we are able to use, where to get. So we need energy, but at the same time, we have to sustain the environment by taking the different technologies and measures. And also we are looking for nowadays, that is why once the human life is prolonging, we are looking for renewable and non-renewable. Those are all non-renewable energies, and nowadays we are looking for renewable energies like mostly the solar. Even that also, if you take in terms of percentages, I don't know the percentage, global-wise also still we are very less in single figure, I think. We are meeting, we have to depend even at least 2 decades or 3 decades, then only at least 2 decades. Of course, we have by 2030. 2030, yes, planning should be there, targets should be, these are all very good, but it's very difficult within less than 10 years, it's very difficult to transform from all these non-renewable resources to renewable, but it is a good sign. We are starting all over the world, in India also, solar energy, how to use the renewable energies like all these to reduce all these pollution levels to survive the life. Because I am going to complete it, though I am very anxious to say more and more beyond this, because time doesn't permit and okay. So in between, it has gone. So with these few words, I would like to say thanks to the organizers, especially Pundarekar Rao, to giving me this opportunity. Our mission is to create awareness among the public through different platforms, different forums, to how to reduce all these plastic use emissions and also the fuel consumption by taking the alternative measures. We can use the words, but no time, alternative measures. As a result, at least for some future generations, we can sustain the healthy, peaceful, happy environment. Deforestation, I think, nowadays it is there, but after people make use of gas, especially deforestation is mostly earlier for firewood. But nowadays everybody, even a very poor family, they are able to maintain gas in the form of gas and the natural gases and all these. But other things are there, other things are there. We have to take care of it. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guests. Now, I cordially invite Professor S. Ramakrishna Rao Garu, former Vice Chancellor of Krishna University, onto the stage to speak about World Environment Day.
Sabhaka Namaskaram. I'm on the dais. We have Dr. Pundarik Rao, who was instrumental in inviting me. But I'm sorry, I apologize because I'm delayed because of some other function by the Visakhapatnam Port Authority, and that's why I was late to this August gathering. Dr. Pundarik Rao and Dr. Ravi Ishwarappa, Dr. Sahuji, and Dr. Lavanya, and my colleagues here, Jagadishwar Rao Garu, Naidu Garu, Swami Naidu, and ADV Rao Garu. We're all, we used to play tennis also. We play tennis. Ravi, I never knew that Ravi is such a good speaker, but he's a good tennis player. Coming to this Environmental Day, this is 50 years down the line. We are celebrating this in the university from 1972 onwards, 1975, 76 onwards, I remember. Then every year we celebrate. That time nobody used to come and attend this type of meetings. I'm sure today in the morning when I went at 5:30, 6 o'clock to the beach where there is a function, walked on, and the people now realize that the environment is so important in their day-to-day life. And environment is such a word earlier which is people never used to accept it, but today health and environment have become buzzwords. My dear friends, let me just tell you that we are in India, we have bounty of resources, but resources and their use, we are not realizing it properly. If you properly use, many generations may be using the same resources forever. But unfortunately, we are abusing almost all the resources, whether educated or uneducated. Please take a note that the future, many speakers earlier to me have spoken that the future is looking very bleak. If you have seen the presentation, I think I brought, but I don't know, presentation by erstwhile President, our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, who has seen here in this August gathering. I think nobody might have seen Dr. Pundarik Rao Garu, whether we have seen or not. 2070, he has put the line as 2070, though the decline comes from 2030 onwards, another 8 years. The water resources are going to be depleted. We have to recycle them. As already as mentioned, Dr. Jagadishwar Rao Garu mentioned that the water has to be recycled because we will be, our per capita usage is 135 liters, we will be discharging 80% of this water, which can be retreated or treated and reused. And many of the Eastern countries, Eastern Asian countries, are using the recycled water. But our mindset will not accept it. As already mentioned, this water, though it is grey water or dark water or blue water or whatever water is there, we have plenty in the coastal area. We have right now 960 kilometers of length of our coastal water is there. But in future, most of the 60% of the population will be migrating to the coastal waters because the resources are plenty in the coastal areas, whereas in the hinterlands, they will be depleting. So we should be resilient to this particular aspect, and we should start reusing the water from the coast or from the used water, or the sewage water also can be recycled. Now I am going to attend a conference in Thailand in another 10 days. There, almost all the countries are going to come together to think of how best we can treat the water and also use the water as a drinking water. Tomorrow, you may get that water in a water bottle, you may not question where from this water is coming, because ultrafiltration technology has developed in such a manner that you will not find any difference. But using technology also energy, intensive. So we are blessed with natural resources like solar energy, where we have done certain experiments, where using the solar energy, you can treat sewage water, you can treat the groundwater, you can treat any water to the level of potability, just using solar still and solar pond. Though the technologies are available here, will not use because the decision makers are different. We have given that to our officers who are in the helm of affairs, but they will not resort to this type of simple technologies where the expenditure is very, very low, and we are plenty and plentiful of solar energy is available here, but they will not take into their mind. It is not going to. But when the situation arises, when the people come together to say that, okay, look, this is what we want. We want water, we want cheap technology, where it's available, so make use of that. We are all interested in the constructions and, different types of activities wherein you have to, expenditure will be more so that your reconciliation will be more. Anyway, I'm just telling you that in future, another 70 years, another 50 years to 60 years in future, we will not get water. We will be getting only one glass of water, where we will be drinking 2 liters of water per day. And it is said that, it's not my words, but Dr. Abdul Kalam ji has mentioned that all this cost of the water will be recovered from your salaries. Every glass of water which you drink will be recovered because will be paid. It's paid water you will be taking, one glass of water also. Then oxygen, I know many of you may not be knowing that we will be breathing around 23,000 times in 24 hours. 23,000 times, mind you. So air should be available to us. Oxygen, 16 kgs of oxygen is required by your brain every day. So where from you get? When you are polluting, you will not be getting good water, good air also, which will be giving good health, will not be available to you. So in future, the oxygenated areas will be governed or will be protected by army, and you will be allowed only when you pay into that. Probably you must be knowing in Delhi and Japan and all those places, they have the kiosks, oxygen kiosks. The people who are on the roads, who feel the breathlessness, they will go into the oxygen kiosk, they pay, they take oxygen and come out. And the protected areas, in good ranges of protected areas where oxygen is available, will be, people have to go into that. And last but not the least is, let me just tell you that you have the highest energy in your body. Your bodies also will be treated. They will be converted into energy-giving substances. 20% already we are artificial energy we are having. As already mentioned, vitamin D, vitamin E, all these things are artificial, energy systems. And tomorrow, your body, another, say, 70 years to 100 years, your body will be, once again, will be treated, converted into energy-giving thing, because you require 1800 kilocalories per day for sustenance, and that you will be getting from your own body, or the people who are going to die in future, their bodies will be converted and given. This is, I know it's not my futuristic view, it is given in the Soylent Green, movie called Soylent Green, futuristic movies. And I think 25 years back, Al Gore has written that Earth in Balance. The Vice President of US has written a book called Earth in Balance. If you have it, you just read it, or you can find out in the Google. It's one of the wonderful books where he says that today we are in balance, and if you are going to exploit this type of resources, you will be ending in debacle. And Mahatma Gandhi ji already, somebody has told that in 1926 itself, he said that use the resources for your benefit or your use, exploit the resources for your use, but not for your greed, for your need, but not for the greed. So you are going to exploit more and more. Lastly, what I would like to just mention is, almost all the resources are very important to us. Water resource, for instance, if you are equating that to food, a handful of rice, or this will be equivalent to, say, 100 liters of water. Because 1 kg of rice, if a plant has to produce, 2000 liters it is required. If you are wasting rice on the table, 1 fistful of rice is equivalent to 100 liters of water. So, my dear friends, don't waste food, because equivalence resources will be there. So, you have to conserve them. Whenever you want to eat food or drink water, please just think about the future and use it as you like, you require for it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Pundarika Rao garu has given me and called me here. Thank you very much, sir. And lastly, he has given a great book, good book. Please see that. The last one is, Save Yourself. It attracted me very much, and a wonderful book he has given. And thank you very much for bringing out this type of information.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your valuable words. Now I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. I cordially invite our special guest, Dr. A.J. Rao Garu, Corporate Advisor and Consultant on Environment and Sustainability, to speak a few words on World Environment Day.
See, the UN has started celebrating this World Environment Day from 1972 onwards. And every year they come out with a theme. And this year, the theme is Only One Earth. And, why they said so is, the world population is almost inching towards 8 billion. And to sustain this 8 billion, we really require 1.6 Earths. So by the time we are into 2030, we would be requiring 2 Earths, which of course we don't have. So therefore, this particular theme is very, very important. And in the present context, more than the pollution control, I mean, the resource conservation and especially the natural resources, whatever we have, and also the recycling, reuse, and also the circular economy, that's probably very, very relevant today, because while pollution control is being done at least to some extent, but this, natural resources are depleting so fast that probably, we may not have, the present generations cannot have a good, well-being, and future generations, their very existence may be at threat. So, just to give an analogy of, what is really happening and probably the pace of destruction, scientists say actually the living on the earth, it all started about 3.5 billion years ago. And for all of us to really understand this 3.5 billion years, let me just compress this to 3.5 years. And if you bring it down to this kind of time scale, and probably the human beings, they started living on this earth just about 4 hours back. In this 4 hours, if you consider whatever the level of development what we see today, the so-called industrial revolution, which probably started 150 or 200 years ago, that just started about a minute ago. It may not be very realistic, but I'm just to give you an idea, I'm just trying to focus on this. So in this 1 minute, we have destroyed almost more than 50% of the world's forests. We have changed land use of almost 40%. We have polluted probably all the major rivers and all the continents. And just to keep pace, a buzzword called sustainability has been coined, some probably about 20, 30 years back. And just to understand whether the entire process of this restriction, can it be reversed? Unfortunately, it may not be possible to reverse, but maybe all of us can just probably reduce the pace of destruction, probably. That's what the sustainability efforts are aimed at. And the UN also has given some targets, the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. And if you look at the 17 targets, about 8 to 9 are directly or indirectly linked to the environment and the ecology, all the resources, water. And therefore, the main focus today has to be, apart from the pollution control, has to be on the use of natural resources and how best we can get into a kind of a circular economy where we are able to recycle or reuse as much as possible. Professor Ramakrishna Garu spoke about the water and how in several countries already the water is being recycled and used for various purposes, including drinking. And we still have lot many rivers flowing across the country, but then there are several places in this world where people don't have any natural resources, and they are sustaining by either drawing seawater and going for desalination, or trying to recycle whatever. Just take the example of Singapore. Singapore has been using this water, the sewage water, recycled water, and by all kinds of treatment for drinking for last 25 to 30 years now. Okay, so that's the situation, friends. So therefore, our focus has to be more on, how do we conserve the natural resources, how do we preserve them, how best we can recycle. It's not only water, but even the the mineral wealth. You know, our Professor Garu spoke about the minerals, and today, whatever waste we have, waste rocks we have, or the tailings we have, it is still possible to recover some valuables from them. So the efforts are going on in that direction as well. So therefore, let's focus more on the sustainability part and also the resource conservation and the circular economy part. I've been a member of the expert committee at MOFCC, Ministry of Environment. I was sitting on the industry committee. In fact, Professor Ramakrishna Rao Garu sits on the infrastructure committee, and I was sitting on the industry committee. And all I've been finding is there is a lot of focus on the pollution control aspect. While that is important, but it's equally important to give, even from the policy point of view, actually, because whenever we give environmental clearance, the focus is more on pollution control, and probably the resource conservation takes a back seat. Probably that's where some kind of a policy, direction is also required, and probably we require a paradigm, shift towards that. So therefore, on this, World Environment Day, let's probably all of us, the industrialists, the academicians, the civil society, kind of rededicate ourselves to understand the importance of the resource conservation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your valuable speech. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Now, I cordially invite Alex Koshi, General Manager of Radisson Blu, to honor the delegates on the dais.
Good afternoon, all. A warm welcome to the Radisson Blu Hotel. To all the speakers on the dais, very welcome. So on this World Environment Day, we have been hearing from the experts how to be more kind to our environment. One of the speakers said, let's actually provide a better environment or something similar on what we are living to our children and grandchildren. It's no easy task. So let's take a pledge today to accept and adopt more sustainable practices and to be more responsible and committed towards our environment. At the Radisson Hotels, we have taken around 20 steps, best practices, so that our carbon emission will be less, our sustainability activities improves. Here at Radisson Hotels, we have different tiers of recognition we give our guests. For the platinum member, we have to deliver, we have to give them a farewell gift. Earlier, we used to source it from outside. So just imagine, it could be plastic, it could be maybe a diary, or it could be something like a power bank. So now, at the Radisson Blu Visakhapatnam, we are going to be trendsetters. We grew lemongrass within our property, and as you know, lemongrass has got multiple benefits, be it medicinal or cooking. Most of the healing oils, it's got lemongrass. So what we're going to do now is, we are starting a process where our platinum members will be leaving the hotel, and their farewell gift would be one of our lemongrass saplings in a jute bag. So we are actually going the sustainable way, and I actually wanted to share this with all of you on this lovely day, the World Environment Day 2022. So before we start enrolling this out and recognizing our platinum guests, I actually want to do with the eminent people on the dais. So I would like to present them with our Radisson Blu grown lemongrass in jute bags. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite J. Ramarao Garu and I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest.
ఈ దినం వరల్డ్ ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ డే. ఈ సందర్భంగా పుండ్రయ్య గారు ఏర్పాటు చేసిన ఒక మంచి కార్యక్రమంలో మేము పాల్గొన్నందుకు శ్రీ పుండ్రయ్య గారికి, ఈ డయాస్ని ఆక్యుపై చేసిన పెద్ద పెద్ద ప్రొఫెసర్స్ గారికి, ఈ వేదికను అలంకరించిన నా తోటి క్రషర్ వానర్స్కు, ప్రొఫెసర్స్కు, ఇంజనీర్స్కు అందరికి కూడా ధన్యవాదాలు. ఈ దినం ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన పెద్దలందరూ కూడా చాలా చక్కగా మానవాళికి చాలా అత్యవసరమైన, అతి ముఖ్యమైన ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ అనే దీనిని రక్షించడం అనేది ప్రతి ఒక్కరి బాధ్యత. అట్లాగే నా యొక్క అభిప్రాయం కూడా సైమల్టేనియస్గా ఇండస్ట్రీలు, ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ డెవలప్మెంట్ లేకపోతే ఈ ప్రపంచ దేశం కూడా మనకి భోజనం ఎంత అవసరమో ఇండస్ట్రీ కూడా అంత అవసరం. రెండు కూడా సైమల్టేనియస్గా తీసుకుపోయి ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ని కాపాడి ప్రజలకి ఏ రకమైన అనారోగ్య పరిస్థితిని చెందకుండా రెండిని సైమల్టేనియస్గా తీసుకెళ్ళి పోస్తేనే డెవలప్మెంట్ జరుగుతుందని నా యొక్క అభిప్రాయం. ఇది తప్ప ఉప్పు నాకు తెలియదు. కానీ మనం ఒకప్పటికి ఇప్పటికి కూడా ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ బాగా డెవలప్ అయింది. పబ్లిక్లో కూడా ఎక్కువగా దీని మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పుట్టి ఇప్పటికిప్పుడే గవర్నమెంట్స్ కూడా, సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ అవనండి, స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ అవనండి, క్లీనింగ్ పర్పస్లో కానీ, మన పరిసర ప్రాంతాలను శుభ్రం చేసుకోవడంలో కానీ చాలా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తీసుకుని బాగా డెవలప్ చేస్తున్నారు. దాన్ని చేస్తూ మన ఇండస్ట్రీని కాపాడుకోవాలని నేను అందరినీ కోరుతూ ఈ అవకాశం ఇచ్చిన పెద్దలందరూ ధన్యవాదాలు.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite N. Srinivas Garu onto the dais. Thank you, sir. Now I invite J. Vaikunta Rao Garu onto the dais. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. Now I invite M. Vidyasagar Naidu Garu onto the dais. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. Now I invite C.H. Srinivas Rao Garu onto the dais. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. I invite Karthik Garu onto the dais. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to felicitate the guest. I invite Prudvi Garu onto the dais. I request Galaxy Envitech Managing Director to honor the guest.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for participating in the event on World Environment Day. World Environment Day is organized by Galaxy Envitech Private Limited in association with Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society, APIS, Government of Andhra Pradesh, National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, Government of India as technology partner, and Andhra University Incubation Center as knowledge partner. I would like to convey my sincere thanks to our respected chief guests and keynote speakers who are present here on the occasion of World Environment Day and their valuable talks towards sustainable developmental plans and environment. My heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Professor M. Mutyal Naidu Garu, former Vice Chancellor, Adikavi Nannaya University. My heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Bijay Kumar Sahu Garu, Regional Manager and Head, NRDC. My honest thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Ravi Ishwarapu Garu, CEO, AU Incubation Center. My sincere thanks to our chief guest, Srimati Lavanya Chimata Garu, Joint Director, APIS. My heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Dr. A.J. Rao Garu, Corporate Advisor and Consultant on Environment and Sustainability. My special thanks to Professor Jagdish Garu, Director, IIIT Srikakulam. My sincere thanks to Professor T.Y. Naidu Garu, Department of Geology. My heartfelt thanks to Professor S.R.K. Raju Garu, Andhra University. And my sincere thanks to Professor S. Ramakrishna Garu, former Vice Chancellor, Krishna University. My special thanks to Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society, National Research Development Corporation, and Andhra University Incubation Center for cooperating with us and making us this event a very grandful success. My sincere thanks to all the guests who attended this meeting and made a grand success. I especially convey my heartfelt thanks to press and media, friends and family for their immense support. I particularly convey my thanks to the hotel management for their excellent support for this program. Thank you one and all from Galaxy Envitech Private Limited.